Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be able to chair this session. Although I'm very sorry that I could not be there in person, but I'm very happy to meet this very distinguished panel. This session is really to have a conversation about how are the concepts of equal humanity and equal citizenship really being understood in the different communities. Do we really have a concept of equal humanity and equal citizenship for everyone? And in my earlier talk at the beginning of the day, I had mentioned that, the epoch in which we are living today, we are seeing an onslaught on the ideas of equal citizenship, equal humanity, which had taken root, at the time of the reform movements in Kerala, and subsequently after the Second World War and the independence of India, that this is the kind of nation that we want. It was enshrined in the Constitution with, however many limitations in the practical application of that, but that we belong, all the people of India are equal as human beings. And by virtue of being a part of the Indian polity, we also enjoy certain rights as equal citizens. Now, these ideas are increasingly under assault, and they're under assault both in the realm of ideas and in the realm of practice. And they pose great threats to people, of course, because one thing is to have prejudices, and there's an increase in prejudice and hate. But then when that leads to violence and curtailment of rights, that actually poses a different level of problems, to say the least. And I want to begin this session, and I'll explain a bit how we wish to structure it, by referring to the work of and thinking of Frederick Douglass. He was a great African-American figure of the 19th century, an implacable foe of slavery. He was himself African-American, had been a slave, became free, but then he really fought for the freedom and the emancipation of slaves. And the important thing about people like Frederick Douglass is that they put forward the arguments for, why Blacks are entitled to equal humanity and equal citizenship. So by equal humanity, he says that there are certain traits that make human beings, all human beings, have like special moral worth. And that is why you're an equal human being. And that is why African Americans, or Blacks, Negroes, as they were called, and are equal to whites. What are those capacities? The capacity to reason, the capacity to comprehend morality, the capacity to choose how to act, and the capacity to understand the self as a subject with a past, a present, and a future. And he says, this is what equal humanity means. What about citizenship? Citizenship means you belong to a particular community, a community which has declared, we are this group, we follow certain rules, we follow certain practices, and a member of that group owes allegiance to that group. And he argued that the plight of the Blacks in America rested on the claim to U.S. citizenship. The U.S. Constitution provided adequate protections for all U.S. citizens, but what protections could be had if these people could not claim constitutional citizenship? So what are the conditions of citizenship? This is what he discussed, because citizenship carries the main benefit of protection of one's rights by one's own government. So just to give the perspective from another context, another century, another people, about what equal humanity and equal citizenship means. We want to discuss now what do they mean from the perspective of different communities, and we have a stellar group of speakers, as has already been introduced. What we propose to do is that each of these speakers would give a 10-minute presentation, and I would really urge them to stick to the time. I think somebody from the floor will perhaps indicate to them when they're nearing their 10-minute limit. And after that, I will ask a couple of questions to the speakers, and then we will open it up for questions from the floor. So the order of the speakers I would like to suggest is Dr. Saranga Dharan, Dr. Maya Pramod, then John Samuel, and finally Ashraf Gadekal. So with that, may I ask Professor Saranga Dharan to take the stage, to take to the podium and make his presentation for 10 minutes, please.